Hello, it's me, LHMusic. And guess what? I'm inside Deep Space Podcast Studios because last Thursday, YouTube just went blank. Who knows? Can still last. So I'm going to say this it doesn't take that long, about 10 minutes about this one. So you just interest me about this. So who knows? Can be civilized. But did you know that you guessed it, according to Blaze Media, and this is what happens because from Antifa from to communist front groups. And that's why extremists just thriving on fracture oversight. As far as we're concerned, it's a clear step towards defeat. Now, take for instance, did you know the assassination of conservative icon Charlie Kirk just got shot last couple of Wednesdays during 9/11 thing and all that stuff, because that's why Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, gets shot inside on the neck, and you have no clue whatsoever. And that's why Tyler has sentenced to a death penalty. You know what I'm talking about. But here's my observation. But President Trump has vowed to confront whatever he calls the radical left lunatics. That's right, the radical left lunatics. And that's why the rhetoric is growing sharper, like a knife or wherever it is on the right, including within the administration for itself, but trying to dismantling the far left's networks would not be simple at all. And defeating the forces of aligned against the American public requires more than speeches. And it's demanding a clear understanding of the enemy and systematic plan to dismantle enemy infrastructure using the tool of national powers. Well, the biggest initial problem of the Trump administration facing to confront the radical left, that's right, is refusing by the national security, federal law enforcement, and of course, intelligence apparatus, trying to even recognize who the president has identifying as a huge threat, as far as we're concerned. And I'm not making this up. Seriously. Because here's my observation. Currently, the U.S. government refers to domestic terrorist threats to the broadest possibility categories, such as radically and motivated violent extremists. And it goes all the way up to, you guessed it, abortion, relative violent extremists. But in every case, these categories goes on and on like a constructive, you guessed it, to appear content neutral. This allows this bureaucracy to appear to even handling the selective emphasizing preferring political target interests to ignoring others. Take this for example. What if I told you that racially and all that motivative, extremists has gone, berserk. Both black and white supremacist groups in practice, and the government has spent efforts targeting groups that perceiving as white supremacists, and it underemphasizes the black supremacist groups. And you know why? Because the Antifa and the similar radical left actors are under the anti-government, the anti-authority, violent extremist categories, such as Sixers, Catholic Church attendees, and others. But the federal law enforcement devoted 12 informant to the Governor Gretchen Whitmer, great state of Michigan. kidnapping case has been collapsing a trial over questions and all that. Because all the evidence has been suggested. The completely neglective, you guessed it, to investigate the John Brown gun gloves, and all the attacks across the country. Already know about it. But here's the new category. If you know what I'm saying, the president must direct the creation of the far left violent extremist category to implement to immediate across all departments and agencies, while the actual name is to debate this. And it must be, yeah, anti-fascist, anarchist, and anonymous, or you name it, goes on and on. Because, in fact, let me demonstrate for you. The German Ministry of the Interior Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution defies far left extremism. Oh yeah, and precisely this way, and it categorizes the subcategory of every year in the reports that finally opened to the public. Oh yeah. So the far left violent extremist category should be individuals like groups, networks, and all that. And it's something to do with, yeah, single activism. Topics like animal and environmentalist extremists and abortion goes all the way up to, you guessed it, all the Black Lives Matter riots, Jane's Revenge, and all that. Yeah, Free Palestine college campuses, encampments. They can, and they demonstrated for the far left extremists, changing names and the logos before, yes, taking the action by its cover. No, LHMusic, oh, you always know about it. Yeah, the anarchist and Marxist. I tell you one thing is, the here's my observation. The Trump administration will not be cowed. Sorry, it happens. The anarchist and the Marxist networks could be dominating as anti-fascist and all that, because everything else is always just crap about this, and these groups are decentralized in all this. You call this Marxist, you call this all that crap about all these and far left extremists, could be hazardous to your health. Oh god. This is why these groups are likely far left extremists. Could be fiscal sponsorship organizations through, yeah, that's right, all that foundation. So how do we defeat far extremism? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. Because of these movements are just made up multiple entities and try to utilizing the different tactics are moving in a different way. And there's no silver bullet can defeat the far left extremist movement and the whole of government and ultimately a whole of society will successful, and anyone insists on a single note that this has got to stop. This threat could be at your best ill informed. You can take a look at all these things like a Department of Justice and all that charity, all that crime, and it goes all the way up to, you guessed it, the State Department and Department of Homeland Security about all those far left extremist networks. You can take a look at it, and all that goes all the way up to Department of War and all that. But in other words, in addition to this, the Trump administration will be to utilize those rhetoric and the bully pulpit to help rally Americans around the globe and to take their fair share of political principles, and the president should be publicly and repeatedly praise those Democratic officials at any level of government all they want. Tries to publicizing against far left extremism. So what is the goal? The goal of this far left extremist network could be over for the past 5 whole years and have been encouraged mainstream Democratic elected officials and those, mainstream media fruitcake idiots try to figure this out to utilizing their rhetoric. But LHMusic, the mainstream Democrats try to, I don't care about that, because those Democratic idiotic creeps tries to realize the far left extremist network for political organizing and campaign activities. And the president should be also use the urge to help supporters and political donors to bolster private sector to support independent research, study, and action to concern this threat of this far left extremism. So here's my observation. What if I told you that 9/11 could be the academic field of countering violent extremism has gone rapid expansion, and yet in no case do grants and chairs and the assist that the focus solely on the study far left extremism. And this leaves this final note as I wrap this up about the intelligence officials under law resources to eliminate the access to credential experts on these laws. And you know the moral story is the Trump administration has been demonstrated with the political will to take the fight to trash those far left extremism. And there is no shortcuts or quick fixes in this fight. So please, the hard work must begin. No questions about it. Any questions? Good, I hope you do. And that's my BlazeNation Thursdays final thought, and I'm sticking to it.